Hey, this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric, and I make apps. Now today, sometimes you just have to make illogical decisions. So my plan today was to do a video outside. If you've seen any of the videos before, you'll know that sometimes I like to leave the office and just get some nice scenery, drive around a little bit. But as soon as I started filming the video, it got really windy and it started to sprinkle a little bit. And I think it's going to start chucking down rain anytime soon. So I'm going to have to do it from the car again today. So the other day, somebody asked me a question about going from a contractor to doing Overpass full time. So I've told this story before, but Overpass has been a company since 2004. But for the longest time, I was just a contractor. I was working at different client sites. So I was very well paid, but I was like commuting to London or Oxford or Reading or wherever it was, working 5 days a week. I would say 9 to 5, but as a contractor, it was usually I'd get in around 9, but I'd usually be there till 6 or 7. I worked very long hours, right? And eventually, and every so often, I would leave a contract and think, I'm going to work on Overpass full time. I'm going to go out, I'm going to find some clients, and I'm going to work on it full time. And then nothing really happens. Maybe a year would go by or a few months, whatever, until I ran out of money. And then I would go back and take on another contract. But I haven't done that for 6 or 7 years now. So I've just been working on Overpass full time since 2013. So, which has been really nice. I really enjoy doing it. But somebody asked me a question about making that transition. He said, when you went to working at Overpass full time, did you wait until your app income equaled the income you got from your contracts before you made that move? And it was one of these kind of questions where I found I didn't want to answer it. I kept changing the subject. And finally I said, you know what? No, I didn't. I didn't wait until the income was the same. Right? I probably did it a little bit too early. I probably should have waited until the apps were making a bit more money before I left those contracts, before I thought I want to work on this full time. I want to see if I can get some clients. I want to see if I can make stuff work, because it would have been a much more logical decision. I mean, here we are 6 years later, right? And everything seems to be going pretty well. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really glad, like no regrets. But even then, it wasn't a logical decision. I can't justify the decision even now after all this time is gone. And sometimes I'll think if I stayed contracting, I'd probably have a lot more money now. I'd probably be making a lot more money. I probably would have, I would have been, climbing the ladder and increasing my salary. But I don't miss taking that train every day. I don't miss going into somebody else's office. I don't miss the lack of control. Because I didn't start working on Overpass full time because it was a logical decision. If it was a logical decision, it would have been an easy decision. But it wasn't. It was a hard decision. It was an illogical decision. I tried to make it, I tried to justify it in my own head, oh yeah, but then I won't have a cap on the amount of money I could make if I got clients and if I did all that kind of stuff. But there was no guarantee. But eventually, it's what I wanted to do. And the thing that's always scared me working in the corporate life, even as a contractor, so I'll go from employee to contractor, even as a contractor, working in the corporate life, it was looking at somebody who was 10 years past you or 20 years past you. So somebody like taking the train every morning and you see the same faces again and again. And some people are older than you are and you could tell they've been doing it for the last 20 years. Or they've been stuck in this rut. They've been doing the same thing. They've been doing the logical thing. They've been, because who's going to leave their job that pays them a lot to do something that pays them less, right? Not very many people. The smart people wouldn't do it, but I guess I'm not one of the smart people. So, and I think sometimes when you make these decisions, when you put out your app, when you put an app onto the App Store, or whenever you make any kind of decision, there's no guarantees, there's no certainty. Sometimes it's just this, I talked about it before, the leap of faith, doing something that's illogical. And sometimes it's those illogical decisions that you make, which are the ones that propel you forward the most. And they're also the ones you stumble on, but, we like to think of ourselves as logical. I like to think of myself as logical, but when I made that decision, it wasn't a logical decision. It was just something I wanted to do. And in the end, you have to do things because you want to, and you don't have to justify them to anybody. Anyway, what do you guys think? Well, tell me about a time when you've made an illogical decision and it worked out for the best. where nobody could understand why you were doing it and you couldn't explain it to them, but it actually worked out. That would be really good. If you have a story like that, please put it in the comments. That is it for today. I'll talk to you guys again next time.